Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Good morning, good people. Welcome to AZ Sports Live. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Actually, Will, yes, haunted houses are whack. Skywalker Steele. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021, aka Hump Day. Yeah. Coming up, we'll talk about Hard Knocks. A little bit. Just a little bit. I am not too thrilled with Hard Knocks, and we'll get into that. A few NFL analysts ranked the quarterbacks in 12 different categories, and we'll talk about where Dak was at in that. Also, Michael Gallup, his contract kind of came up a little bit, and because someone got signed yesterday, so we'll get into that a little bit too. And also, there is a special guest that will be calling in at the top of this show. Bob Sturm of The Athletic will be dialing in shortly to talk a little bit about the rookies and Dak Prescott probably and the linebackers, because I really wanted to talk to him about that article he had wrote. So let's do this thing. All right, am I too loud? It seems like I might be too loud. Y'all know I like to ask that. If I'm too loud, let me know. If not, we're good to go. Shout out to those who are in the building early on. Y'all know how we do. We like to give shout outs. Marquise Hall, Stevie Mack, the Mod God, Connor Collins, C. Burleson, my lady, Michelle, Jacob, Lewis, Airborne Bullies, which is over on Twitter. Shout out to Twitter in the building early in the game. Chris Woods, a.k.a. Woody, and the many, many more that will be coming through as we get going. Lewis says, I'm good. Stevie says, shocking, I got a notification from YouTube. Yeah, I don't know, brother. YouTube is YouTube. You can't say too many bad things about YouTube or they gonna get you. I'm just gonna say YouTube is YouTube. How are you guys doing on this Wednesday morning? We're halfway through the week, feeling good. Last preseason game is coming up. Likely, mostly going to be a bunch of the young guys. Some of the rookies, probably not all. I wonder if we'll see Micah. I think they asked him about that, Mike McCarthy. He kind of dodged it. I hope we don't see Micah. We don't really need to see Micah Parsons, I don't think, on Sunday. So, how y'all doing, man? Good morning, Brian. Good morning, David. He says, what's up, Sky? About to head to work? Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm ready for this show. So let's do it, man. Let's do it. First on the docket is Hard Knocks. Did y'all watch Hard Knocks? Give me a yes or no if y'all checked out Hard Knocks last night. If not, we'll go over a little bit what we saw. Excuse me. What's up, Tariq? I watched Hard Knocks. I said this last time on the show, right? I'm this close to not watching Hard Knocks. Man. Like, I listen, all right, look. My job, I have to watch Hard Knocks. Because I cover the Cowboys. I have to watch Hard Knocks. If I was a Bengals fan, if I was a Ravens fan, if I was a fan of any other NFL team, I'd be watching this thing like, what is this? This is boring. Airborne says, I missed it. Connor says, watching today. Jazzy says, not yet. MD says, finally caught a live stream. What's up, brother? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday until the season starts, 8 a.m. Central. We'll be here. So Hard Knocks to me, again, was boring. I'm just going to be real. There were some stars of Hard Knocks, and most of that had nothing to do with football. For instance, Trevon Diggs' son was a star of that episode. I believe his name is Adrian. Really cute kid, had a lot of good moments, fun moments. It was awesome to see. But was he outshined, if you guys watch Hard Knocks, by the drone shot? Did you guys see the drone shot? Like, this is what I keep coming away with Hard Knocks. the storylines are terrible. Like, there's only a few good storylines, and that's the Kamara. That's nice, right? Alarcon. I think they even extended the Alarcon thing a little bit too much yesterday. But those are nice, heartwarming storylines or whatever. But real storylines, and we kind of talked about this on the show, there's nothing there. So what they're doing to make up for it is the production and things like that, which is excellent. And a guy like me, if you guys know, I love producing. I love quality production, and Hard Knocks is almost second to none. I'll say this. WWE does some amazing production, probably the best I've ever seen on anything is WWE. But Hard Knocks is doing a great job production-wise. And like Chris said, it's entertainment. I mean, yes, I wasn't watching it to gain any football knowledge, but, you know, I've seen other Hard Knocks, and I figured there might be some really cool storylines, and I felt like maybe they're missing. Are they missing out on some of those storylines? I think they might be. But that's because the Cowboys don't have a lot of drama right now. They don't have a lot of drama. David says it was boring last night. Sadiqa said, yes, it was boring. Yeah. Marquis says, I'm tripping. Hard Knocks is better than I thought. I wonder why it's better than you thought. So you thought it was going to be worse than this. Any worse than this, I wouldn't be watching. I would just turn it off if it was worse than this. That's how, I hate to use the term bad, but that's how boring it's been. It's all over the place. And I wonder, somebody brought this up. I wonder if it's because Mike McCarthy is saying, no, this, and this cannot be aired. You could bring a camera in here and a mic in here, but you can't bring it in there. Because we know he's a close to the vest type guy. Remember last year, he had all of us worked up. Oh, we're about to see a blue-white scrimmage, the first real football, in 2020. Dude didn't show a single play. So I'm wondering if this is Mike McCarthy. I wonder if this is Mike McCarthy's. But that drone work was dope. The drone work, and I don't know if this is true. If you guys seen that bowling alley shot, if you haven't seen it, go check that out. It's really dope. They send a drone through a bowling alley with a group of friends. It was amazing. Apparently, those are the same people who produced that. They did this drone shot for the Star. That was amazing. Making me want to get a drone. I thought that was cool. That was maybe the coolest thing of the entire show. But football-wise, my favorite part football-wise was Amari Cooper. We'll get into that in a quick second, but it was Amari Cooper. MD says, boring is good in regard to the team. Yes, absolutely. There's no drama, so that's cool. What's up, B-Bird? Woody said, I don't know why Hard Knocks doesn't dive deeper into the CD life. It's tough. I mean, what? See, Hard Knocks is supposed to be about right now, right? Really, CD, there's nothing going on with CD. And that's a good thing. Javon Morton says, it isn't boring for the Cowboys. No distraction, no crazy news for the media. Yeah, boring is good. I don't want y'all to think that boring is a bad thing for the actual team. It's just as for entertainment, the entertainment is it's kind of boring. But it's only for entertainment. AJ says, bro, I get more detailed info off articles in Hard Knocks Snooze Fest. Huge letdown. Yeah, you're definitely not going to get any. I mean, now there's some things that you might, like, I didn't know about Azur Kamara. Like, I could have probably read that, but I didn't know about that. Alarcon gave some more information on him. That's about it. That's about it. What's up, Choctaw? Montana. David Jenkins says, man, Sky, I wish I was able to see that drone shot. Oh, yeah, I understand. I definitely understand that, brother. It was a beautiful shot. Shout out to KD, which is actually Swaggy P, I believe. You got to keep reminding me about that, KD. Swaggy P in the building. Oh, Swaggy P. So, football-wise on Hard Knocks, did Amari Cooper pretty much shut down this wide receiver one crap? Did you guys see that? I wish I could pull it up, but I don't know. YouTube might get me. HBO might get me. I don't know. So I'm not going to play it, but I'll try to run this back for y'all. Oh, man, Amari Cooper's a dog. Amari Cooper had CeeDee Lamb come up to him, and there was pictures of this at practice. I was at practice when it was happening. I didn't know what they were talking about, though. I just thought it was a regular conversation. No. Coop was schooling CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb comes up to him, as he should, as a young pup, and asks him about route running. Hey, do you play the whole man? Do you play the half man? one step, two step, three, all these intricacies about route running, and Cooper's showing them. And in my head, I'm like, stop showing this. Like, in my head, part of me as a Cowboy fan wanting to not give away Coop's secrets, right? The other part is like, man, this is fascinating. This is what I want to see, Hard Knocks. Like, this is what I really want to see. And he's just showing him these moves and his quickness. We knew Cooper was a route running demon, but to see it in a theatrical way, it's a thing of beauty. It's an absolute thing of beauty. If you're talking about some of the best route runners in this league, how he's never, usually they talk about Devontae Adams, and they talk about, and I'm talking national media, not Cowboys fans. They talk about Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, things like Amari Cooper is squarely in that discussion. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, he is in that discussion. And he was showing CD Lamb how to run these routes and what have you, and he just looked like a blur at the line of scrimmage. If I was a defender, I would hate that. I wouldn't even want to guard Coop. I would literally rather go guard CD Lamb or Michael Gallup. I'll take my chances because Coop will embarrass you. You know, CD Lamb's going to make an amazing catch. He'll get open. Gallup is going to probably moss you or just out-muscle you. But Coop is going to embarrass you. Ask the cat Jaquette or whatever his name is from Philadelphia. Choctaw said, we're all these Coop haters who think CD is better than Amari. CD may eventually have more talent than him at some point. But right now, to me, number 19 is the alpha dog. He is the alpha wide receiver in this room. He just doesn't have to bark. And people see that he doesn't bark. And he talked about this. And they think that he's not competitive. That's wrong. You'd be wrong. D-Town said, I'm surprised they haven't showed more of the rookies aside from Parsons. That is a good point. Because we're very interested in some of these rookies. I want to see more about Bohanna, more about Osa. Hell, I would have, maybe they'll do the last two episodes. I would have liked to see him. What's up with Brent Urban? He seems like an interesting, fun character. He's getting no airtime. I think they're missing a boat on some things. Good morning, Rika. Good morning, Ty Cook over on Facebook. Hey, if you're over on Facebook, guys, thank you for joining us. Make sure you share this, please. We're trying to grow the community on Facebook. Over here on YouTube, the community is continuing to grow. It's a strong-knit community. These guys are awesome. Facebook, I'm starting to get to know you guys, as well as Twitter. If you can share that as well over there. Iceberg says, Lamb makes the spectacular catches. Coop gets wide open, so his catches don't look spectacular. Whoo. That's true. That is so true. The stuff he does at the beginning and at the top of his routes is elite. It's elite. And it's true. If you need a sure thing, like Dak usually does, you go to Amari Cooper if you need to get a first down. But he can also beat you deep now. Now he lost weight, remember? He's down some. Jenkins says, yo, Sky, going to catch the re-airing after work. Stay blessed, fam. I would send some barbecue if I had a way. Appreciate you, David Jenkins. Thank you very much. Darren Posey, I want to see more on both starting DEs and both starting tackles from Hard Knocks. Are you talking about D-Law? They focused on D-Law, but yes. That's another one. I'm surprised Randy Gregory's not getting some shine here. Good opportunity for folks to see the other side of the new Randy Gregory, not just a football player. Missing the mark here a little bit. Micah's teachable moment I thought was interesting as well because, you know, sometimes as an athlete, when you're just so good, you're used to doing things one way. It works because you're so good. And you had George Edwards in the meeting room saying, well, Micah, this isn't Harrisburg Herald. I don't even think there's a Harrisburg Herald. I'm from Harrisburg, and I don't recall a Harrisburg Herald. But he's being funny. He's like, we're not trying to make the Harrisburg Herald. We're trying to win football games in the NFL. So you got to do it this. You got to do it this way. And I thought that was good to show the inside of what happens in the meeting rooms when you're amongst other players, because we're all human, right? Like that film day when you know you messed up and they're gonna call you out in front of people. It can be tough, no matter what sport you play. It can be tough to see. You get used to it after a while, but at the end of the day, as Stephen Jones would say, at the end of the day, it kind of hit you. So that was interesting to see Micah's, I called it Micah's teachable moment. And he needed that. And that was what LVE was talking about. But nobody's going to get on George Edwards because he's a coach. But LVE was saying similar things in that first game, like, hey, just play your responsibility. The plays will come, or we'll funnel it to you if that's the design of the play. And we saw that in Houston. I made a tweet about that. These guys were doing their jobs, and it often resulted in a positive play for the defense. I also thought Hardy's contact moment was weird. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on that. That was strange. Why are you focusing in on a man's eye? It's just hard not. Just trying to find any filler they can find. And then, thank you, Arno. He says, Mr. Steele, I appreciate your show. Thank you, sir. Then Dak came out and was talking about the haunted houses thing. How y'all feel about haunted houses before we get all the way into the show? As I got older, I kind of feel Dak. Like, when I was younger, I loved it. I'm a October baby, almost Halloween, very close to being a Halloween baby. And I love haunted houses. I love old school horror flicks, the Michael Myers, the Freddy Cougars, the Jason Voorhees, the Candymans. There was the Ice Cream Man. That movie was creepy. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, I love the old school type. This besides the old school Exorcist, but this new, superficial ghost stuff, that's not for me. So I'm with you, Dak. Nowadays, haunted houses, I'm good off of them. But when I was a buck, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So that's Hard Knocks. It was Hard Knocks. It really wasn't that great to me, but I guess they're more leaning towards the entertainment aspect of everything as opposed to the football stuff. So there we have it. All right, I think we may have our guest on the phone here, guys. Let me dial him in, and that is Mr. Bob Sturm. Let me see here. Bob, you there?
What's going on?
What's going on, Bob? How are you? Thank you for joining us today, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Happy to finally get together with you.
Yes. If you guys do not know, as I said at the top of the show, this is a 2-decade. He's been covering the Cowboys for 2 decades, and now he's with The Athletic. Let's welcome him in and get to it. Let's see where he's at here with some of these things. Now, your latest article, Bob, was about the rookies, right? Focusing on the rookies leading up to the dress rehearsal game. So yeah. My question to you is, what rookies have carved out a role in their year one campaign to you from what you saw?
Well, yeah, I'm probably right there with just about everybody in the sense that there's no question Micah Parsons is a difference maker. And if he continues on this course, and look, it's professional sports, so we can't put money in the bank until it's already there, until it's earned and in our hands. And so as much as we love what Micah has shown, we cannot necessarily say that he's automatically going to be Bobby Wagner. There's a lot of rungs in the ladder that he must touch, but it's a very impressive opening show for Micah Parsons. He's been fantastic, and I think he's going to be great. Oza Odigizua looks fantastic as well. I know Neville Gallimore has necessitated this, but I don't see any reason why Odigizua can't hold his own as at least a full rotational player, and maybe even the starter. And partly because I don't know what else they have, but people shouldn't confuse that with
right.
He's just default. He's earned a real role, and I think if you squint at times, you can see some Michael Bennett maybe, or something along those lines. That's again, that's really high praise, but I like what I see there.
I feel you.
Beyond that, there's. Oh, go on, please.
No, I'm saying I feel you on Osa. He's kind of surprising me a bit. I thought he'd come in here and be a one-dimensional player year one, but he's looking very versatile in the run and pass game.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, and again, there's not a lot of recent evidence of this because of the injury, but from what I've seen, Chauncey Golston has a chance to do similar things once he gets out there on the field. But of course, we can't, do much with him until he demonstrates the ability to get out there and to start doing it. So we need to put Golston on a bit of a back burner and a slower development curve, just due to health, which is not that uncommon in the sport, of course. And then the third one is going to have to be Jabril Cox, and just the way that he has really played his way into the mix. I don't anticipate he can, trigger roster moves of the highest order, just simply on the fact that he is, he's a very impressive player, but I think he's probably going to have to wait a year to do much more than special teams unless there's injuries. But honestly, if this front office wants to demonstrate to me that they want to be proactive and get Jabril Cox closer into the mix, then they probably have to move a vet. But that said, I really think he's done all he can do. I just don't think they have big plans to make that happen. Beyond that, there's a bunch of guys who can contribute, but I would say those are clearly the top three. People would want to know about Kelvin Joseph. I just think, given the way their contracts are with Jordan Lewis and with Anthony Brown, I don't think that initially they feel super motivated to push a rookie out there unless he demonstrates that he has zero concerns for development. And given that they have Brown and they feel pretty decent about Brown on the outside and Lewis and Kennedy in the slot, I wouldn't take it as a massive disappointment in Kelvin Joseph or Nahshon Wright. I just think that football coaches are the types to, be compelled to, wait until a guy pushes himself onto the field, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think I started to talk myself into that a little bit into OTAs and training camp, where, get Tom Brady week one, at the very least at the beginning of the year. You get a Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Goodwin, and Antonio Brown. Are you really going to roll out a rookie cornerback to that? As much as the fans love Kelvin Joseph, coaches have a comfortability fallback. They're comfortable with the guy. They're going to roll with them until they show them that they can. And we saw that last year with Darian Thompson.
Yeah, and honestly, it just basically comes down to the fact that you don't want to have to draft guys that you have to put on the field right away. If you do that, you're an expansion team. You're not serious about contending. And I want to give the Cowboys credit because I'm certainly somebody who wishes they would participate more in free agency on the high end to add really elite talent to this roster. But their strategy makes sense that they sign guys to one-year deals in March, so they're not motivated to put rookies on the field before they're ready in July and August. And I think that's a very smart strategy if you can do it.
I think one sneaky rookie who may have carved out a role early is Quentin Bohanna. It may not be a ton of snaps, but dude looks a lot better than I thought. I mean, I thought he was good, but he's has some growing to do, obviously. But I think he has enough traits. He's shown enough traits to where you can put him on the field week one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I did not mention him, and I should have. He has a lesser role. We're talking base down run situations and probably a goal line short yardage and things of that nature. But he's kind of your Antoine Woods, your Keith Hamilton, the big roadblock that you don't want to pay much because in today's NFL there's only a dozen snaps a game tops. But they got to be able to hold their water. Hold up a double team long enough for a linebacker to shoot a gap. And I think Bohanna can do that. And I also think that the draft game tells us that, the NFL is not going to spend day one or day two picks on those types of players very often unless they have a clear pass rush component. And so you can kind of wait till day 3 and then pick one you like. And I think they probably did a decent job there with Bohanna. And now it's up to him to prove how much, he wants to battle in those trenches over the next little while, because he can probably expand that role if he takes it and runs with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about some of the early good returns on Jabril Cox and Micah Parsons, right? So they seem to have hit on these two guys, and they're pushing the incumbent guys like LVE and Jalen. And when you say the word Jalen, all of a sudden you get a bunch of, can't say that word nowadays. But the latter has become a hot button topic. And you've done some extensive research on Jaylon Smith, and I appreciate that research, because when Jalen said, hey, watch the tape, guys, Bob literally went and watched every single play. So what is your objective take on the Jaylon Smith player and situation?
Well, and I'll tell you, the other thing I did that's important is I did round up about 8 coaches who were anonymous in nature, but between the NFL, college, and high school ranks, they coach defense, and so I wanted their eyes too, because sometimes I love football, I study football carefully, but I don't want anyone thinking I'm Buddy Ryan or anything like that. So after getting that panel together and their expertise last year and doing that big project, and then this year, I've just come to the conclusion that, and it's not his fault, he can meet the baseline needs of a modern starting NFL linebacker, and that's disappointing, because he's a great dude, he's a great story. And honestly, when he was at Notre Dame, he was one of the best linebacker prospects I've ever studied in my 10 years or so of covering the draft extensively. And I just don't think that you can honestly put him any higher than 5th best of their linebackers right now. And so I guess what that means to me is there could be a role for him, but at the price tag and at the prestige of his name and his marketing ability and so forth, I really think this is coming to a head where if the Cowboys were smart, they might go ahead and just sort of cut the line. I know people want to trade, but at this point you're kind of upside down. You're upside down in that loan. You're not going to get anything. You might have to send a pick to get somebody to take him. It's just he can't move. He can't change directions. And so people say, can he run special teams? Well, no. Special teams are for athletes. And if you are a substandard athlete right now, it's just very difficult to find a role for him in any capacity, because I think we saw in that Arizona game, the second he's out there, teams are looking to attack. And, again, I feel bad that I guess over the course of time I've kind of become the guy to talk to about, why is Jalen bad and is there any hope? But I just think if you turn on the tape, it becomes pretty obvious that he doesn't have the standard ability to play his position at this point in time, and we thought maybe he was dealing with some injuries last year that would clear up, once we got into a new season with an off season to rest and so forth, and we just haven't seen that. So, I take no pleasure in suggesting that Jaylon Smith is probably at the end, but I kind of think that's where we are right now, and it bums me out.
Yeah, so you essentially answered my follow-up question. I wasn't sure where you had him in the ranks here in Dallas, but my question was going to be, can he contribute more than Jabril Cox at this point, who is considered your 5th linebacker coming into the offseason, but coming out of the preseason? I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Yeah, I just think, Keanu Neal, who had never, technically played linebacker before, and I know they're not specifically in the exact same role, but I think Keanu Neal blew by him immediately. I think Van Der Esch has a chance to have a rebound year. Of course, his health is always a consideration, but the thing about Van Der Esch is when he's on the field, he's still very good. And people are kind of sleeping on him, and I understand that it's even more comfortable to say that Van Der Esch and Jalen are in the exact same bin right now. That's just not true. Vander Esch's topside right now, it far exceeds Jalen's. Because Jalen's topside is still going to be a guy who, apparently when fully fit is still not good enough right now because of the toll that his body has taken. And then, when you talk about the kids right out of college, I mean, again, I don't even think it's close right now. I think Jabril Cox was their plan on draft day, and Micah Parsons was not their plan. They fell into Parsons, but when Cox kept falling down the board, they're like, well, let's take them both. Why not? We can get this guy in the 4th round, and I don't blame them at all because, honestly, those could be your 2 starting linebackers in 2022.
Yes.
So, again, I know it's harsh, and I realize because of guaranteed money and the way Jerry and Steven operate, there's still a, 80% chance Jalen is on this team this year, but I just think if you put him on the field before those other guys, you're probably not doing it on merit. You're doing it more on we like him a lot.
They tend to they tend to do that, it seems like. But the coaches, you would hope can overtake a Jerry Jones situation. Sometimes Jerry, falls in love with the guy and they keep him around. For instance, I don't know if you feel the same way, but Tyron Crawford, we just knew it was the end for Tyron Crawford last year. They decided to keep him. And let's just be honest, it was not a good decision in my opinion. You could have saved $8 million and used that for a real player, but that's just the Cowboys' way they work sometimes.
Yes, it is, and it needs to change probably for this team to become a true contender. But another example of this conversation would be the percentage of role for Zeke and Tony Pollard. Zeke has a chance at having a great year, and unlike Jalen, Zeke should be able to still do whatever, to a certain extent, and I apologize about the noise here on the expressway, but
that's all right.
to a certain extent, I believe Zeke is still a very capable player, but I do think Pollard has far more juice, if you will, at in certain roles. But I do wonder if he'll be given that proper percentage of the workload simply because of maybe favoritism and marketing and all the things we know about that go back to Felix Jones.
Yeah.
And, through the years there's been a million of them. So it is what it is, right?
The hope is that Mike McCarthy's telling the truth, and when he says that there'll be more of a 2-back system, because my belief is that Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott is better than just Ezekiel Elliott and just Tony Pollard. I think the combination of both of them could give defenses a ton of more problems than just individually. However, Zeke looking different. He's looking different this offseason.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And, depth is a massive thing in this league, and I realize it doesn't get the fans going, because, a lot of fandom is about wins and then maybe their fantasy team. And I know talking about depth and talking about special teams doesn't really appeal to either of those things. But trust me, and if you're chasing Super Bowls or even NFC Championship games, you better have depth and you better have special teams. And I do think the 2021 Cowboys are potentially way better in depth and therefore probably potentially way better at special teams as well.
I'll tell you, one position that they are suspect at for depth is the quarterback position. So before I let you go, Bob, one of the questions I've been asking viewers over the last 3 weeks is, where is your level of concern for Dak Prescott heading into the opener? And so I'll ask you, from 1 to 10, where is your worry meter for Dak Prescott heading into week 1?
Well, I'm going to assume 1 is very low and 10 is very high, and I would probably hit it at about a 3. I don't want to act like there's no concerns and no problems, but I do think they've managed things pretty well, and I do think that he's a very tough kid, and I do think that if they were playing games in August, he probably wouldn't have missed more than one of them, just to get that shoulder back. I do think I think he's not about to miss games.
No.
And obviously if if you rip out your shoulder, we got a serious situation. But I try to always put this through the meter of because it's a Cowboys story, and because it's a Cowboys story to a big player, people are going to squeeze every drop of juice out of it, and to often amplify it and make it a bigger story than it actually is. And I believe, for the most part, that's been the case here. Now, if you want to get into, do I have massive reservations about the backup quarterback spot? Of course I do, but I think that's just
that's
another
universal.
year in Cowboy land. It's just standard operating procedure, it seems.
Indeed. Hey, Bob, I don't want to hold you too long. We appreciate you coming through here and giving us some of your thoughts. I would love to do this again, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know and we'll get it done for sure.
For sure. Let them know where they can find you and your work one more time.
Yeah, I guess The Athletic is probably the best place to see the written word. If you want to hear me, 3 to 7 on the ticket in Dallas, and you can definitely get the Dallas Morning News app if you want to hear the hard line. And I guess you can follow me on Twitter at SportsSturm, STURM as in Mary. So love to let people hear what I got to say if they're interested, and if not, they can mute me right away. It's very easy.
I feel you, buddy. That is Bob Stern, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, man, have a good day, buddy.
You too. Thanks.
Yep. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Stern. I enjoy his articles. I don't listen to the ticket before I move to Dallas, so maybe I'll start doing that. But really appreciate him coming through, giving us his thoughts on all things Dallas Cowboys. If you guys want to give your thoughts on all things Dallas Cowboys, 351-999-3787. That's 351-999-3787. We'll leave the phone lines open for a little bit here. Let's hop into the chat, see what you guys have been saying while he was on the phone there. Yeah, we got some round of applause. Yes. Chuck Tao. He says, I can't wait for Jaden to leave. He's going to the Chiefs. And we'll get a ring before every player on Dallas, while Dallas and fans will be screaming, we're going to get 6. Damn. I mean, if he goes and gets a ring for another team, are you saying he's going to be one of the reasons he gets a ring, or he's going to be like Mo Claiborne, or like Damian Wilson, was it? Who these guys were part. Now, Anthony Hitchens different. Anthony Hitchens was actually a factor. Really good linebacker. But a lot of players, there's going to be DeMarcus Ware. You think it's going to be a DeMarcus Ware, like a Hall of Fame player, continue to be a Hall of Fame player somewhere else? I do think if you there's a way to use Jalen somehow. I don't know what it is. I feel like a smarter, coaches are coaches. They'll figure out a way to use him. But in Dallas, it ain't it. There's literally 4 linebackers that should be playing over this guy right now. Let's just be real. Let's get into the phone lines. 214. What it is, what it do? Well, this isn't. I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How are you? Sure. Yeah, because that contract make it tough. Oh, sorry, guys.
Thinking maybe you could flip Jaylon Smith for you could trade for Mariota and then send them Jalen and maybe like a 6th rounder. Would that be something you're interested in doing?
Me, yes. I mean, I like Mariota as a backup. But would the Cowboys do that? And then what is the ramifications? You have to let me know. I haven't looked it up in a few weeks. What is the ramifications of trading Jalen Smith right now, post-June? Like, what is the dead money? Do you save money? Things like that.
I think we'd have to eat about $6 million in dead cap, and then next year I think it's off the books, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up because I don't want it to be a detriment to Dallas to get Mariota for 1 year. But if I can get Mariota, I think he might have signed a multiple-year deal. I'm not sure. But if I can get Mariota for 2 years at that $3.5 million he had, it's something worth to look at. Somebody asked me that question, I want to say on Twitter, or might have been on here. Would you trade Jalen or LVE for a backup tackle or quarterback? And I said, I'm greedy. I would want to go get a starter. That's just, if you're talking about LVE or even Jalen, I'm greedy. Like, no, I'm not going to take this loss. I'm going to recoup this loss if I'm going to trade him. But you bring up the name Mariota. That's very intriguing because I like a mobile quarterback as my backup quarterback. He started in this league. He's won in this league. That would be very interesting if Dak goes down. I would feel comfortable with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, and the way that I look at the Jaylon Smith situation is there's really like no good out for the Cowboys because you either cut him next year and you get nothing, or you try to trade him this year and maybe get something, even though you got to eat some dead cap. So even if it's like a late round pick, you're still getting something back rather than just nothing.
I think we're getting to the Byron Jones territory where people a couple years ago were like, we're not going to sign. The Cowboys are not going to sign Byron Jones. Let's just get something for him, right? That's kind of what it sounded like with Jalen. Its consensus is he's not going to be here, so let's just get something for him, right? I like depth. I like having depth. It's just that how good of depth is he at this point? If you got 4 other linebackers that can do what he does. Like, I asked this question, what is it that he can do so much better than any of these other linebackers? Or what is it that the other linebackers can't do at a replacement level that Jalen Smith can do? I mean, I've been watching the preseason. I've been watching the recent tape. I can't find anything that he can do so much better than these other guys. So now it comes to, is it a meritocracy or is this your cornerstone player for real? Because if it's a meritocracy, I know what I'm watching, and I'm not the only one that's singing this, man. There's guys out there that should be playing.
Yeah, and even the big Jalen supporters, at this point, I feel like they should want to trade him too, because you'd rather watch Jalen go to another team and find success than just languish on the bench in Dallas.
Well, that's what you're hearing some of them say is, I can't wait for him to leave and things like that. I mean, it's just strange because it's not like it's Tony Romo, who gave you a decade of play, right? Really good Pro Bowl play. Jalen Smith has been a decent linebacker to good linebacker in this league. He's never been a great line. I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't know if it's like a sympathy thing or what, but I think sometimes the Cowboys fans, we get attached to these players. You know what I mean? And then we overvalue them.
Yeah, and I mean, he had that one really good year in 2018, and I think the Cowboys thought that they were really smart in getting ahead of the curve by signing him early.
The thing
he
is,
just didn't live up to it.
Right, and that's the thing. I don't blame Jalen. Obviously, you take that money, right? And then I do blame Dallas because why would you do that? just let it play out. Just let it play out, man. Just let it play out. Appreciate the call, though, brother.
Yeah. See you around.
Yep, have a good one, man. All right, so we'll get one more. We'll do 954 here in a second, and then we're going to go into the second block of the show. We'll talk about Dak Prescott. 954, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Sky? What's up? It's Matt from South Florida.
What's going on, Matt?
Yeah, I was just calling to hear, like, what's your confidence level about the defense this year?
So, I don't know if you peeped the show last week or on Monday, Matt. It's raising. I started off at the floor saying, all right, I got to see it. I like the Dan Quinn signing, and that's so when Dan Quinn was signed, I said, all right, cool. I like this because I know the type of style he plays. He's a good defensive coordinator, maybe not head coach. So let's see the moves he makes, right? He goes out, gets Keanu Neal, moves him to linebacker, gets Brent Urban, gets Terrell Basham. I'm like, ooh, I like these moves. This is defensive focused role players, right? I hate to use the term jags with these guys because they're actually good at their roles. So I'm like, okay, I creep up a little bit. Then the draft comes. They go 8 of 11 picks defense, and a good chunk of those guys I like. So I'm like, okay, creeps up a little bit, but got to see it. Then we start hearing and seeing the speed of the defense, the simplicity, the understanding. He's coaching better, so it creeps up a little bit. Still reserved. Then preseason comes, and if you watch the defense over the last 3 games, they are playing pretty damn good. I get it's preseason. That's all we got, but you got to kind of compartmentalize in preseason. You don't want to take the totality because in the fourth quarter they give up a lead, but you're talking about guys that's not going to make the team. Look at the players that are going to play. They're looking pretty good, man. So I'm feeling like this defense can be a top half of the league defense, but my number one thing, Matt, has always been I need them to be a top half, top 10 defense in the categories that matter, right? Like I don't care if they're number 21 in yards, but if they're top 10 in turnovers, third down percentage, and red zone defense, I can live with it.
But my thing is, Anthony Brown's gonna play. He's gonna start.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no
So
ifs, ands, or buts.
yeah. So what's going to have to happen is you're going to need the front seven to help out the back end early, like early, like right now, like against Tom Brady. You're going to need the front seven to give him fits, or they're just going to get picked apart. I'll just be real with you, man. I don't have confidence in the secondary to stop that passing attack. So I need the front seven to get home.
But then that leads to the same issue that we had last year. If we can't start the pass, then people just going to throw and run us.
Well,
we're going to overcompensate.
The run was the worst part of the defense last year. It was stopping the run, and they've upgraded the front seven, right? You get Bohanna, you get Urban.
Those are all assumptions.
Say again.
We're assuming that they're going to be additions. We've never seen them all play yet.
They're up. I mean, they're upgrades. I'm just letting you know that. Like Brent Urban is the best run defender that we've had in the last 3 years as an interior defensive lineman. Period. Like I can pull up tape for you if you want me to. But Brent Urban is a legitimate upgrade.
I've seen the tape, and I know these players are upgrades, but it's just the way when they get them. People get to Dallas. It's like we choose to play them in a whole different role that doesn't suit them or help us.
But that's why the Dan Quinn signing was important, because he's not getting these guys to play some completely different role. He brought Quentin Bohanna in here to do what? Play rundowns. What's he doing? Playing rundowns. He brought Brent Urban in here to do what? Be a versatile guy that can play 3-tech, 5-tech, 1-tech, and be a what? Run defender. That's what he's doing. And then when passing downs come in, you get Osa Digizua, Carlos Watkins. You're going to get D-Law, Randy Gregory. So I don't see anything right now that says that Dan Quinn is doing some herky-jerky Mike Nolan stuff. But if you have PTSD, I completely understand, because Mike Nolan brought in, Everson Griffin and had him standing up.
But it's been even before Mike Nolan. It goes back to when after Bill Parcells left for the Jason Garrett era, started with Wade Phillips. Like we get players.
Wade Phillips was successful as a defensive coordinator here. You don't remember that?
For like one and a half year, and then after that they got rid of him for Rob Ryan, and then that was good for 1 year, and after that they got rid of him.
They got rid of him for Jason Garrett, and then Jason Garrett hired, Rob Ryan and so on and so forth. But I think you should say post Wade Phillips. But I'm not about to sit here and be like, in 2021, they're not going to utilize Brent Urban right. Dan Quinn's not going to utilize Brent Urban right because Rob Ryan didn't utilize Stephen Bowen correctly. You know what I'm saying? That was a decade ago.
I just it's like a pattern. No matter which coach, it's a pattern. They constantly play people that aren't better than other people, and it's like still seeing it now with AB and still having Darren Thompson on the team, still playing Jordan Lewis over Maurice Kennedy. It's like they're still.
Yeah, they're still, because the Darian Thompson, he's not playing. Darian Thompson is a special teams guy. Darian Thompson's your fifth safety at this point, so don't work yourself up over Darian Thompson. But there are concerns. Huh?
You say that, but every time when he plays, whenever there's a backup needs to go in, 23 is on the field.
No, he's not. Go watch the first half. Darian Thompson is not playing with KZ and Jaron Kearse and Donovan Wilson. He's not.
No, that's the start. I'm talking about the backups. The first backups are coming. He's one of the first backups in the rotation.
Did you hear what I just said? You hear what I just said? Jaron Kearse, DeMonte KZ, Donovan Wilson. Those are your top three safeties. Only Malik Hooker is still working his way back, but we know Malik Hooker is going to be above Darian Thompson when he gets fully back. Darian Thompson is squarely set as your fourth and fifth safety special teams guy, unless there's injuries. Like that's fact right now. So don't work yourself up over DT. You're right about Jordan Lewis. That is a bit concerning, and I'm with you. I thought Kennedy should be the guy. That concerns me. That part of the Cowboys seems to have not all the way left. They're creeping that way, but it hasn't all the way left.
And my last question is, who do you think who's our middle linebacker?
Micah Parsons.
And you're certain about that, right?
Yeah, they're going to utilize him all over the place, but Micah Parsons is your green dot middle linebacker guy.
And you think he'll be able to handle the duties of taking on blockers, calling out plays, diagnosing plays, reverses, and fakes? You think he'll be able to handle all that?
Yes.
Okay. And other than him, who else do we have? Because if he can't, who's our backup plan?
So they'll probably do some combination of LVE and Jalen. Looks to be the backups.
No. I never want to see LVE at middle linebacker ever again. He was probably the worst defense in history last year, and he was middle linebacker. He was banned, and he ran back to Will. That's how bad he was. I never want to see LVE at middle linebacker.
What you want to see? LVE, Jalen, doesn't matter. One of them is likely going to be the backup middle linebacker per se. So it is what it is. Yeah. What you want me to tell you?
If it's LVE, then how could it be so positive about the defense success if LVE is going to be a backup linebacker?
Listen, okay, I'll help you out here. Jaylon Smith, your backup middle linebacker.
And I'm not that thrilled about him. I think we should get Keanu Neal set up.
Keanu Neal's not. Keanu Neal is a will. He's not a middle linebacker.
If you check the depth chart that they put out, he's backing up Jalen right now. From before the first preseason game to yesterday, we put out an unofficial depth chart. Keanu Neal is Jalen's backup.
Yes, in a base running down defense. Do you know how much the NFL plays in nickel? Do you know how much the Cowboys played nickel last year? Question.
But we still need a middle linebacker that's capable of diagnosing the plays. And the only person that's shown some sort of success was Jalen. And we're not all that thrilled about it.
Dude, hold on.
He's been our most successful linebacker in a couple of years.
Hold on. Do you know how much the NFL plays in nickel? How much the Cowboys played nickel last year? 70% of the time. Okay? So worrying about who's going to be the middle linebacker in a base defense at this point is kind of minuscule. Right? And backup. You're talking about the backup because you can put Micah Parsons in the middle if you want, but because of the way how he's like a joker type of player, you can move him all over the place. And now that you have, in my opinion, upgraded interior defense, that's going to help your middle linebacker in a running situation, which is going to do what? Help LVE, help Jalen Smith come downhill. And we saw that against Houston when they aligned in a 3-4 alignment. They have 55 and number 9 in the middle. And they had on the outside Randy Gregory, and they had Jalen Smith. Serious tripping. They had Micah Parsons. And what happened? We got run stops when that happened. So I know this is preseason. I know it's the Texans. But when you have an interior that can help your guys out in the run game that way, your linebackers will automatically be better. We talked about that, right? Even if you don't like Jalen, you knew he would be better if you helped the interior. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand how we're tripping about who the backup middle linebacker is, unless you're afraid Micah's going to go down.
No, I'm not afraid really that Micah's going to go down because middle linebacker plays on pretty much base, nickel, and I guess you could kind of do him on dime. My thing is when we have Micah doing his Leo or Sam or D lineman stuff, if Keanu Neal can't show that he can handle playing that Mike, the only other player we have is Jalen. And I'm a Jalen, and I like Jalen. I'm from Jalen. But okay. I clearly see the misstep in his
I think you're
direction.
Drastically underrating the depth at this linebacker. You're essentially what you're trying to say is LV sucks. What you trying to tell me?
I don't think he sucks. I just don't think he's as all-world as so many people believe that he is.
Not a single soul believes he's all-world. He's all capable. He's all good when healthy. That's it. I mean, I think there's this weird thing in Cowboys Nation right now to pit LVE and Jalen against each other because they see what's happening. They see that Jabril Cox, Neal, and Parsons are the guys moving forward. So how can I fight for Jalen by pitting him against LVE? For what? These guys are essentially afterthoughts moving forward with the Cowboys. Seriously. And if we're being real, LVE when I think we talked about this. When LVE is healthy, LVE can play the linebacker position very well. I don't think that's even a.
I don't understand the healthy LVE thing. Like even when he's not like he's missed every game of his career. He's played games. He played games last year and he was still bad.
Missed a lot of games the last 2 seasons.
He ran away from Lamar Jackson. He was healthy that game.
He was not. LVE was not. He was not. LVE was not good last year. LVE playing hurt is not good. I completely admit that every single time. LVE needs to be healthy. LVE's problem is not talent. LVE's problem is health.
So what about when Saquon had almost 200, he had over 100-yard rushing on 11 carries and during last year. LVE played that game. He played that game. I'm just trying to say this healthy LVE thing. Like he played games before when he's healthy, and has made 0 to no difference.
And Jalen has.
In the last couple of months, no, I'm not saying Jalen has either. I'm just saying that the people that want to say, "Oh, LVE is good when he's healthy," he's been healthy.
All right, you know what,
been that good.
Matt? I will give you all 22 access to go watch LVE when he's healthy. Not LVE coming back from breaking his damn collarbone. He ain't healthy. That ain't healthy to me. That ain't healthy. When LVE breaks down, LVE is not good. When LVE is healthy, that's the problem. That told you that's my problem with LVE. He can't stay healthy, which is why I don't really care for him moving forward. Right now, though, ask yourself this, Matt. Have you been watching preseason?
Yes.
LVE is healthy at this moment. How has LVE looked?
He's looked good. They've all looked good.
So what are we talking about here then, Matt?
My point is, if we get rid of if we get rid of Jalen,
who cares?
Who's gonna play?
Who cares? If we get rid of Jalen, who cares?
Who's gonna play? The only reason I care is who's gonna play linebacker in that thinking position. So even no matter how much people want to criticize Jalen for being in that position, he still has been our best player in that position since he's been here. And the other players that we have now has never been in that position. So we're asking people that either have never been in that position or is not good in that position to go out against.
Okay. So in your argument, we should be playing Anthony Brown on the outside, correct?
No.
That's literally what you're telling me. Because Boss Man Fat has never played in that position in the NFL. So we can't put Boss Man Fat out there. So whoa. But Anthony Brown has played in that position. And when Anthony Brown's been out there, we haven't seen anybody else do what Anthony Brown has done, right? So we got to play Anthony Brown. That's what you're telling me.
Been good either. But he hasn't been good. I said Jalen has been our best linebacker since he's been here. Anthony Brown has not been our best corner, so him being out here doesn't make any sense. If he was our best corner, then yes.
So who's behind Anthony Brown that you're going to play?
I would play Maurice Kennedy outside and put Boss Man in the slot. That's what I would do.
Okay, so Maurice Kennedy. So Maurice Kennedy has showed in like the 7 games he's played in his career has showed more than LVE has showed at linebacker.
No, I'm saying that he showed more than AD.
I'm getting you.
And LVE has showed nothing at middle linebacker. I'm worried about that. That's a thinking position. You know that's a cerebral. You said
LVE's football IQ is so much higher than Jalen Smith. Stop it.
That's why he ran away from Lamar Jackson in the hole.
Do we want to do this? Do we want to pinpoint plays where Jalen Smith looked absolutely atrocious? We can do it. I'm not doing that for either of these guys. I'm not going to do it. All right, listen, man. I got other guys on the phone. I got other people on the phone, Matt. I get what you're saying. LV sucks. He's not good. Jalen Smith is your guy, but he's not also good. You're worried about the backups. We don't got to do this every time you call in to cap for Jalen. We don't.
I'm just trying to understand. We're going to go against offensive coordinators that like to do trick games, like to do head games. And if you have a good linebacker that knows how to, like Sean Lee, that knows how to diagnose those plays. Our main problem with Micah coming out of the draft is his diagnosis plays. That's why Ohio State misdirected him to death.
Oh boy!
If that hasn't changed, And we still complain about
This is-
Jalen doing that,
this-
and LVE can't recognize. And
this
Keanu
is-
has, even though he's very good, if people are still going to do the exact same tricks over and over until we show that we can beat it. And if Micah can't do all of it himself,
I can sit
and we
here
wanna
and,
get
and
rid of
what if
Jalen?
you to death. I can sit here and what if you to death and make you worry about everything. But what is factual right now? Watching all these linebackers play, Micah Parsons, Jalen Smith, Micah Parsons, Keanu Neal, Jabril Cox, and LVE all look better. You can do all these semantics about misdirection and all this and all that. It does not matter. You put the best players on the field, and then you figure it out from there. Jalen Smith is not one of the best players on the field right now, and that's just that, period.
okay.
That's just
I
that,
hope
man.
you're right.
That's just that.
I hope you're right. I won't say. I hope you're right.
All right, brother.
All right.
Let's get some other guys in here. I apologize to the fans for going on longer and longer about that. I really don't want to do this Jalen Smith thing forever, y'all, because I don't care moving forward for Jalen Smith. And I'm not capping for LVE. And that's all I keep seeing in the chat. Oh, somebody said Jalen's over LVE. Who cares? Micah Parsons, Keanu Neal, Jabril Cox. Those are the guys moving forward. Those are the guys moving forward, man. Oh boy, man. Let's get Reek in here. I think we got Reek in here. This is basically gonna be a Q&A today. We'll do something else Friday. Reek, 585. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Sky? How you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm cool, man. My man, I don't know what game he watching. I don't understand that, bro. This defense is making a whole complete turnaround from last year.
I don't know either, man. Like if you're watching the game, you can see the difference with these linebackers on the field. Like I'm not knocking Jalen, bro. It is what it is. I hate to keep on doing this, but the speed of the defense is completely different when he's not in the game. The recognition of the defense is completely different when he's not in the game. The recovery of the defense is completely different when he's not in the game. Now, if the lane is there and he's coming downhill, he'll make the tackle.
Yeah. I'd rather see him going forward than lateral. You know what I mean? And my whole thing is like this. Nobody's talking about how much bigger Jalen don't put on some weight up top. And he looked slower than last year.
Yeah, he's slow.
To me. He's slower, you know what I mean? So my whole thing is like this, man. We got these young bulls in here now. It's time for all the glitter and gold, the glitz and gold and all that stuff to get up out of here. It's time for the culture to change. It's time for them hard hitting and getting heat seeking and getting to the ball and making sure Dak them got a short field to work with, so he ain't got to go 80 yards out of the field to go score a touchdown.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people not seeing that. Like I'm more impressed with them getting off the field in third down situations. You know what I mean? That's what I like to see.
That's why
I want to see the ball in my.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
You know,
I don't care about the volume stats metrics for the defense. I want to see third down conversions be elite. I want to see turnovers be elite. I want to see red zone defense be elite. I can care if they throw the ball, if you're 15th or 17th in passing yards or 22nd in total yards. I don't care about that. You know, be elite at the things that make defenses consistently elite.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like I feel what you're saying. We're not trying to put Jalen or LV down. No, because you need every part of the machine to work, and they are veterans, so they can teach the young guys if they see something on the sideline, if they not playing or while they in the game, to be like, yo, man, I seen this.
Right.
Do it this way. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
And those guys are going to benefit, like we talked about on the call. They're going to benefit from the front, the interior being better. They're going to benefit.
Yes.
So I mean, of all the positions, I am surprised he's worried about the depth at linebacker. I mean, the depth at linebacker may be talent-wise the most deepest on the defense side of the ball. I mean, I'm not worried about the depth right there. I just want to make sure the
that's
front
what I'm
can
saying.
help him out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want Jerry Jones him to stay up in the booth. You stay upstairs and let these coaches coach, man.
Let them coach.
You know what I mean? Let them do their job that you paid them to do. You know what I mean? All this, we got to be in the camera and all that dumb junk. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff that Jason Garrett them was doing when they was here. On that, a lot of that being undisciplined stuff is out of here now, and I'm happy about that. Like, cause I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see something now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
My whole thing is like this. I'm not worried about none of that. Like, oh, if we beat Tom Brady them, or you know, if we lose, whatever. My whole thing is like this. How did they play?
Mm.
Did they make? Was it a close game? Was it a tight game? Even if they lose, was it a tight game? Maybe we can learn something off that game that we lose against them. You know, I'm not saying that I want to lose, but I'm just saying we can do what Tom Brady and them did to the Kansas City Chiefs last year. They lost that game in Tampa. They learned off that loss.
Yeah.
Because when they seen them later, they used it against them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
week one should never be an indicator of what's going to happen for the rest of the year. I mean, the Bucs are a perfect example of that. The Bucs went, they got smacked by the Saints week one and went on and won the Super Bowl. My whole thing has been saying it this whole entire offseason. Because week one is tricky, the result, I know this might sound bad, is not really the end-all be-all to me. It's how do we get to the result? If we got to the result in a sloppy way, that could be concerning. But if we did some good things, be it win or lose, a lot of good things, how did we get there? If we got there in an encouraging way, let's build off that, and then the result can be the icing on top, right? But if you lose, that's not the end of the world. But how you lose could end up being concerning. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to hedge my bets. I'm just being real.
Yeah, and my thing is like this, guy. Nobody's talking about Dan Quinn seeing Tampa Bay 2 times last year. He had to play against them.
Mm.
So he knows certain things that he don't sit back as a coach and watch. Like, okay, well, that's what they like to do. Okay. Now I'm a defensive coordinator here in Dallas, so I already know what to gear up for what Tom Brady like and what he don't like. You know what I mean? What worked a little bit. You know, a lot of people not talking about these things. My whole thing is, I just want to see a culture change, and I feel like we're moving in the right direction. You know, because this was a good draft, man. It's not a great draft for us.
Well, we got to see it. We got to see it. But right now, the draft is encouraging on defense. I think they're getting a lot of pieces to hit and move forward. It kind of reminds me of the 05 draft a little bit so far, where you know the D. Ware, Spears. I think Marion might have been in that draft. What's the defensive end's name? I forget his dang on name. He had beef with Tony Romo. I forget his name, but there was a lot of guys that came from. I think Ratliff came from that draft as well. So
yeah, but you see the difference though, man, because there's a lot of guys that I'm seeing. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing little things in these guys. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that extra fight. We haven't seen that extra fight in a lot of these players for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love that. You know what I mean? Because that's telling me that the coaches are staying on their behind on defense. Like, even if you get beat, scratch that play off. Let's get to the next play, bro. What you gonna do now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? It's all about a culture change. And I think not to switch from the defense to the offense so fast, I think the fact that Dak Prescott finally got his money, we're going to see a different Dak Prescott. He's going to be rusty. Because he hasn't been playing.
I've come to that conclusion. Dak is going to be rusty week one.
He's going to be rusty. And Zeke going to be rusty, too.
No. I don't know about Zeke. I think
I ain't seen him get hit yet.
Yeah, Zeke can take hits. We know that. The only thing is, though, that could, to help your argument, not help your argument, but make sense about it with Zeke, is notoriously, right, historically, he does start slow. He does start slow, but this a different Zeke, man. I don't know, bro. I think Zeke
Can somebody tell him to take that sleeve off his arm? That's all I'm asking. Can somebody tell him to take the sleeves off his arm? Because he's fumbling a little bit too much for me, for my liking. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I agree.
But like you said, you know, I'm confident in our team this year. I think I think our quarterback is gonna be a little rusty. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? It's just how is he going to battle through that? Because, you know, when these players come back from certain injuries, you know what I mean? It's a mind thing too. It's a mindset. You know what I mean? You don't know how he's going to feel with somebody diving at his legs.
Well, you talking about then you're talking about Dak?
Yeah. nobody know how Dak's gonna feel when people diving at his legs, or that injured ankle and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got to play.
Even he might, you know.
He's got to
So
play.
I believe in him.
But Rick, let me get some other callers in here, brother.
All right, you take it easy, man.
I appreciate you, man. Good call. Let's get 325 in here. 325, what it is, what it do?
Hey, Sky, this is Rika Moves the Chains.
Hey, what's up? It's Rika. I thought it was Rika.
Hey.
I've been saying Rika in my head the whole time.
Right. That's all right. So I have a request.
Sure.
Last spring, I was researching Isaac Alarcon, and I was watching YouTube videos, and I didn't understand a single one of them because they were all in Spanish.
Yeah.
But a few weeks ago, when you brought in Mauricio, I recognized him. I was like, hey, that's the kid from all those Isaac Alarcon videos.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for him to put out a video for us and show us the progression between where Isaac was in Mexico versus where he is now. I'd like to get that picture of what did he learn over this last year on our practice squad. How coachable is he? How much did he develop? I want to see what can we expect from him. If, you know, we can keep him on the practice squad this year, it doesn't cost us a spot because of the International Pathways program. He doesn't count towards the 16-man. And I think Isaac is a phenomenal young man. I think he's so likable. But I really want to know, what's his potential moving forward? And I think Mauricio probably knows a lot more than the rest of us know.
Yeah. He's from Mexico. He actually still lives in Mexico.
Yeah.
Not close to Isaac, but in the same country. And he's a big Isaac fan. He's actually done a number of videos on him. So I would definitely get to him about that and see if maybe on A to Z Sports Primetime show he can maybe drop some analysts on what he's seen from Isaac, or possibly get him on the show. You know, he's reached out to him a few times.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, Isaac has responded a few times. So we'll see. We'll see. It depends on if he makes the team. It's going to be tough. But if he's still on the practice squad or not on the team, period, maybe we can get a chance to speak with him. But yeah, I'll definitely do that, Rika.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. Hey, call in more often, and make sure y'all check out her work, man. She does phenomenal research and puts in a lot of good content out. Let them know where they can find you.
RikaMovesTheChains.com. And you can find me on Twitter at ChainsMoving.
Chains Moving. Appreciate it, Rika.
Yeah. Thanks, Sky. Talk to you later.
See
Bye.
ya. All right, 202. What it do? .202 going once.
Hello. My bad. I was tuning on some ice. What's up, Sky?
All good, brother. How you doing, man? Who this?
Pretty good. This is David. David Chris Jr. I go as Coach Dave, though.
What's up, Coach Dave?
Man, so first, I'm a first-time caller. I love your show.
Thanks,
I
sir.
love what you're doing. Keep it up. I love you and Law Nation, man, like my favorite two channels to get to. So, getting to the Cowboys, man, if we talking defense, we got to remember this is the first year for Dan Quinn as our defensive coordinator. So, it's a new learning slate for everybody, even for our veterans. The slate is wiped clean because his system. He now we drafted players to and signed players to adapt to his system.
Right.
So that being said, I think we're a whole lot better. I want to say 80% better up front as far as the D-line goes, especially the interior. That was my concern of last year because, of course, we couldn't stop the run. And as far as the linebackers, man, I believe Michael Parsons, Keanu O'Neal, Jabril Cox should start. Even though I don't think that's going to happen, I'm sure LBE is going to play the wheel. He's going to start at the wheel. But that linebacking core, man, that room, like you said, it might be the best room in the Cowboys organization right now.
The linebacker room is definitely, in my opinion, on defense at the very least, the deepest and most talented that we have on the defense side of the ball, which is, again, why I don't know why anyone would be concerned about the depth there and specifically one position, because I think having that front seven be better, having Dan Quinn be a better defensive coordinator is going to help all of those linebackers.
Yes.
I always say, I always try to urge people, go check out Dan Quinn's success rate individually with his players in Atlanta. He's had success specifically at linebacker. Devondre Campbell, Deion Jones have been really good linebackers. And then they drafted some talented kids a couple years ago who are playing well too. So I think he's going to get the best out of all of them. Yes, including Jaylon Smith. But it just is not going to be in a 90% snap role. It could be in a 20 to 30% snap role.
Agreed. The only linebacker I want to get rid of is number 57. I believe his name is Guilford. He can't tackle a little bit.
Gifford?
Guilford can't tackle.
Gifford hasn't been – I don't think he's been too bad in the preseason, but I don't think he's going to make it, man. He might be one of those guys that a couple years ago had a shot, but he kept getting injured. But now this room is too deep and too talented, and Gifford definitely is not one of the top 5 backers at this moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And switching to the offense side of the ball, I'm more worried about the offensive line than anything else. I believe we're, now that we're healthy, we can be one of the top offenses in the league because, people put all the – and, I coach high school football, so it's like I know your receivers, your running backs, and the quarterbacks get all the glory, but nothing does not work unless that front line is right. And with that being said, I believe Dak, Zeke, CD, Coop, to me, Gallup is our best 50-ball guy. I like Fehoko. I like Cedric Wilson.
I was supposed to get to Gallup today, but we got caught up in the Jalen situation, the linebacker room. But, yeah, the offense side of the ball is mostly going to hinge on number 4 in the offensive line. If 4 goes down for an extended period of time, I'm talking half the season or longer, Cowboys are in trouble. If Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, you might be able to get away with if the tackles are still healthy. But if Collins goes down, they don't slide Zach Martin out to right tackle and they put in Nseki or somebody in there, it could be in trouble. But what we can't have happen is all 3 of those guys could. Last year was an anomaly, right? Like most teams don't lose 3 of their Pro Bowl caliber linemen. Boom, boom, boom. So if you can get by with 1, I'll be scared for 2, and I'll be frightened if all 3 of them go down again.
Same here, buddy. Same here, man.
Man,
so
great.
I enjoyed talking to you, and again, continue, giving us good content, and I definitely enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you, good brother. I appreciate the call in.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good one. Appreciate all the call-ins, man. Appreciate it, even when we don't agree. And don't take me disagreeing. I say this all the time. As anything personal. Passionate. I'm a passionate guy. I debate passionately. That's just how I am. And shout out to my guy Vach in the building. He knows this. I don't even know if he was here for that entire thing. But Sin City, the 999 donation, appreciate you. He says, up early at work, out on the West Coast watching. Thank you, Sin City. I think there were a couple donations, so I don't want to do that to y'all. So let me find the donations right quick, one time for the one time. Let me find them real quick. I'm not good at finding these donations, but shout out to the other donation, whoever it was. I think I saw you in there. All right, let's get back into the phone lines. I told you, this show was supposed to go a certain way. That's why I changed the titles and every goddamn thing. But now I see where we're at with this, so we just going to roll with it for a little bit. And then Friday, we'll talk about some of the bubble players who needs to step up and maybe get into what we were supposed to talk about today. 614. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Montana.
Montana, what up, man? Choctaw?
Yes, sir.
Look, listen, I like going back and forth with you in the comments. What up, bro?
Hey, man. I only got a couple things to say, man.
Yeah.
For everybody who's worried about Prescott, Coop, Zeke, relax. These dudes is gamers. This is what they do. They're going to come out on fire. You see, Dick is anxious. You know, he can't wait. You know, just chill out. You know, let the preseason go through. Let these young guys get the chance, you know, to make the team. That's what the preseason is for.
You know what I hope doesn't happen, Montana, is that because I think you're going to get a natural, got to knock off the rust from Dak Prescott, right? A natural, I haven't played since October, so I got to get in the rhythm of things. I hope people don't take that and run with it as a end-all, be-all, right? Like in the first half, let's say Dak is like 58% completion, maybe a touchdown and a pick, or no touchdowns, no picks, and he's kind of up and down. What I don't want to see Twitter do is melt down. Like, have the understanding that, all right, didn't play in preseason, barely practice. This is just, he's going to get back in the flow of things. He'll be fine as a competitor and as a quarterback. You just really want to see him get out the rust healthy, right? Like, you want to see him get out the rust looking like himself in the sense of, all right, he made that strong throw. All right, he made that read. He just has to get the timing down.
Yeah, I agree on that. Like, yeah, it's going to be some rust there. It's going to be some there. But I feel like throughout the game, it will change. You know, the whole entire team is going to be rusty. The Buccaneers is going to be rusty. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, had an offseason
It's week
this
one,
year.
yeah.
Not everybody has played the entire, you know, preseason.
Yeah.
It seems like throughout the league, every team is sitting their starters at, you know, you got a couple guys like Mahomes and Brady, you know, that maybe had a couple snaps, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
I think Dak's injury from last year put the whole league on notice, like, hey, man, you know, we do need to start taking care of all of our quarterbacks here.
That was a freak. That was a freak one, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Anything can happen.
Yeah. I'm not too pressed on preseason, Montana, in the sense of these guys going out and playing in preseason. I just want them to practice together. Can we get a week of practice? Can we get a week of practice before we go into Tampa?
I think Dak practices this week. Going into, you know, week one, I feel like they're going to be like, okay,
yeah,
he's ready to have a full practice.
Yeah. I think they talked about him having to. In fact, regardless of where he's at in his recovery, he almost has to, right? Like, you can't. Correct. I mean, all right, I can hear you, Coach and Jerry and all those, whoever else is saying it. I understand you don't want to get him in the preseason. I understand you don't want to ramp him up 3 weeks out. But you cannot sit here and tell me, I don't care how much Kool-Aid you're drinking, fam. You can't sit here and tell me, you can't sit here and tell me if Dak Prescott does not practice that entire week of the game, you just like, yup, he gonna go out there and throw for 400 and just be all perfect.
No,
like that's Kool-Aid crazy shit. Like he need to practice.
I can see about 200, maybe 20 yards, maybe like 15, 20 attempts, and they're trying to, you know, run the ball.
I was just about to say.
My thought process is if he doesn't practice, I feel like they're going to try to manage the game a little better with short passes and then try to open up if it's there.
Montana, I don't think Dak is going to let him. We're seeing it, right? We're seeing Dak get a little bit of that Brady, get a little bit of that. I've been asking for this, little bit of that Aaron Rodgers. Like, Dak paid now. Dak is a made man. Before he had to be the coach's player, you know. Yes, sir. Scott Linehan said, don't change the play. I'm not going to change the play. Dak got paid. He's a 6-year veteran. He's the leader of this offense, this team, period. So if they go out there and say, hey, man, we're going to dink and dunk today, we're just going to do it, he going to look at that man and say, what? Blue 80. Omaha, we going deep. What you talking about, Deacon Duncan? So what they're going to have to do is not necessarily limit Dak's, throwing depth, right? It's going to be mixing in the run game and being balanced. Be balanced.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, be balanced.
They're going to, try to open up the deep ball slowly for surely, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, scream, oh, my God, the Bucs defense. I got friends who are Bucs fans since early 90s, and they even say it like, yo, man, I'm a little scared about y'all receiving core tearing up our secondary.
Yep, that's what it is. So what's funny is
exactly every one of them say like, yo, man, y'all receiving core, it's gonna be a shootout, man. Like
it all hinges on you. What you said at the top of this call, it hinges on the front line. Like if the Cowboys can block up their front seven, Dallas is going to be able to do what they want offensively, in my opinion, because they just have so many weapons. But if it's a stalemate, then we may be looking at a 21-24 type of point performance, which I'll take. You know what I'm saying? But if they can block it up and Dak is not showing any rust, they're going to look at a 30-point type of performance. But I fail. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's automatically going to happen. Like, I respect the Bucs front seven. Like, that is a really good front seven. But if they come in there big-headed, if they come in there big-headed,
respecting that front seven for like the past 4 or 5 years. They have been sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have been. I've been paying attention to that front seven. Like when they had Jameis Winston, they was like terrible for like the first half of the season or whatever. And then you will see them get better towards, the end of the season. I was just like, yo, man,
that's
we're sleeping on that front seven.
Levante David, Devin White, Vita Vea, JPP, Ndamukong Suh, Golston, Shaq. Come on. What are we talking about here? That's a really damn good front seven. We can't sit here and big up our little old defense, right? And then just be like, what? It's the Ndamukong Suh, JPP. What you talking about?
Man.
Jack Barrett? Nah, we're good. Nah, man. Let's just be real here. Stop. Put the Kool-Aid down for a second, and let's talk about how good the front seven is. It's a good front seven, and they're going to go up against a good offense. So it's going to be a battle of, what do they say, a movable object or whatever. It's going to be a battle of two really damn good units, put it that way. And whoever comes out on top, I think, is going to win that game, in my opinion. So if we can block it, I think we can beat the Bucs. If we can't block it, it's gonna be rough.
And I'm gonna leave y'all with this one. I love y'all guys, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with this one.
I already know it's coming.
Just relax, chill out, let the season play out. Injuries do happen. Cowboy fans, do not get your hopes high until it's almost playoff time. Please don't, because anything can happen. I hope it don't. I hope we can finish out the season with minimum injury. And that's it, man. Enjoy this season and let's go Cowboys, man.
Indeed, bro. I appreciate the call, Montana. Call in some more, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, buddy. No problem. Man, the calls is popping this morning. Absolutely popping. I'll get to you in a quick second here. 201. Y'all want to keep going? We can keep rolling, man. I apologize for pivoting on the show, but you guys are doing an amazing job with these calls. So let's just keep it moving. But real quick, I'll get into the chat. I don't want y'all to think I'm ignoring y'all over here. What's going on, William Blackwell? DCU's in the building. The other DCU, because we used to be DCU over here. James Rogley says, the concern I have with the offense is Mike McCarthy doesn't know how to be balanced. He's a pass-happy head coach. That's a problem. I've seen him be balanced, but for the most part, he likes to throw the rock. I think this is going to be more Kellen than anything. But Mike did say, hey, I never had a Zeke. And then he never really got to implement that because the offensive line was just absolutely terrible. So we'll see. We'll see if he can kind of be more balanced. He said he wants to. Special K says 2016 is a perfect example of it. It's not worth the risk. We ain't got no Dak caliber backups on this team. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I don't care about the preseason, man. I shouldn't say that. I don't care about Dak playing in the preseason. I just want to see him be cool when we get to week 1 and knock off some rust leading up to week 1. DJ Dog says Osa does not need to play this next game with Gallimore out. We need Osa fresh for Tampa. Yeah, I talked about Micah not needing to play, but you might be right because Osa technically is going to be the starter. And again, apologies for pivoting. I was going to start the show off at the top with the morning roundup talking about the protocol. CeeDee Lamb, Malik Hooker, Mukwamu, KZ, Watkins are all in the protocol right now, which is allowing Dallas not to have to cut down anybody. The only person they let go was the kicker, who, yes, Greg Zuerlein is back, and he'll be playing this Sunday. So because of that protocol, it's kind of allowing Dallas to get a couple extra days to see what they want to do. And one of those guys is Watkins. So if Watkins isn't back by next week, I think Osa's going to start anyway, but he's just too important depth-wise to even risk it. So I wonder if they're going to no risk it, no biscuit type thing, or they're just going to let him sit. So if y'all want to keep rolling, we can keep rolling. Y'all let me know. Give me a thumbs up. We can keep it going, man. Y'all know how I do. Sean King says first game loss is going to be JJ should retire. Not sure what that means. Offensive line health is critical. It's Dak health-wise, offensive line. Like they're almost right there. Because if the offensive line goes down, we know Dak can make up for certain things. But again, you want to win the Super Bowl, right? That offensive line depth ain't enough to do that, in my opinion. D-Town says, how you liking the DFW, Sky? Thank you for the donation, man. I'm loving it, man. I haven't even branched out everywhere. We're doing a lot of like meetings with A to Z over the last 2 weeks and being here, being there. And so it's kind of been a lot of business, but I've had some leisure as well, and it's been awesome, man. I'm waiting until I get fully settled and really spread our wings here. All right, 201. Welcome to the show. What it is, what it do? What up, 100 grand? I'm good, man. Just doing the dang on thing.
Oop. You and my homies was at the Star. I wish I was there. I envy you guys.
We'll be there on Friday. We'll be there Friday and Saturday. I'll be back for y'all, man. I'll give you some more footage.
For sure. I think that Dak will be fine because he played when the offensive line was down. So
right.
don't take that and take that lightly. You know what I'm saying? They playing Mahomes right now because they like Mahomes. You have a new line. Mahomes, you get what I'm saying? So they got Mahomes playing in the preseason for that reason. You got a new line, play with him. You know, you got a bad line, play with it so you know what to do. So I feel like Dak will be fine. You know, I'm not too much shook with the offensive line because, like you said, I think Dak can make up for it, man. Dak can scramble. They do scramble drills. They do all that anyway. So,
he can make up for one of those guys going down, probably two. But you do not want Terrence Steele, Brandon Knight, Tynan Secchi to be your 3 of your 4 starting offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like to keep it a bean, I don't think that's a Super Bowl formula.
Oh no. I'm talking about if they down and they can't play a game or 2, I think we could get by. Now whole season. That's a totally different. Different story.
You're going to have to drastically change your game plan if you get a combination of like a Lyle and Tyron out for a couple games, or Zach Martin and Lyle out for a couple games. I hate to put this even in the air because I think what happened last year is an anomaly. I don't think you'll see that again.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You know what I'm saying? But if one or two, if one of them goes down for a short period of time. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Dak can make it work. It's just
because he was making it work. It was
It was rough.
The defense couldn't stop nobody. They couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the problem. Now, if we get up and Dak get those leads, we got the defense now. So it's not going to be like, oh my Lord, we can't get by. The defense is going to be better. See, you can pull a lot of things from. People say, oh, just like last year. No, the defense is better this year. Our line is better this year. Zeke is going to get more touches this year because our line is better. They really run the ball because They what was the other teams doing? We gonna stop Zeke. We ain't worried about dog. We ain't worried about the backups. We just gonna stop Zeke. That's all we gonna do. And that's what they did. You can't do that no more.
No,
So
you can't. You can't. And I wonder. And I don't want to jump ahead. I don't want to jump ahead to previewing the Bucks game, but I got the strange feeling Todd Bowles is going to try to make Dak beat him week 1. I do. I got a strange feeling.
So.
He gonna load that box and
He's
say, you know what?
He's gonna touch that shoulder. He's gonna touch that ankle. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Oh, they say that he's healthy. Let's see.
Right.
Let's see. That's exactly what he's gonna do, and that's exactly what I want him to do. Go ahead, because they're gonna say, come on. That's what teams. They ain't got no choice. They not going to double team none of our wide receivers. It's dangerous. You're done. You can't do that. So you just gonna have to say, you know what? Get the 4. Get the Dak.
Yep. I think they're gonna.
The only game plan
I hate to look forward, but I think they're gonna blitz the hell out of the Cowboys. You almost, like you said, you kind of ain't got no choice. And what do you got to lose week 1? What do you have to lose week 1? It's week 1. You're putting the banners down. Your players are juiced up. I would say we're unleashing the dragons today. We're just going to sit here and we're coming after Dak. We're going to make Dak move. We're going to make Dak throw the rock inaccurately. Not saying he's an accurate thrower, but every quarterback's accuracy level drops under pressure. That's just facts.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to put pressure on Dak Prescott, and that's just that. So get ready. But I tell you what, if they don't get home,
it's over. They don't get home, it's over.
You better get home. You better get home because them 3 receivers and Zeke, you better get home. That's all I'm saying.
It's fried chicken. I want them to do that. It's fried chicken, as Shaq would say. It's fried chicken. What are you going to do? What are you going to stop? We got too many weapons. That's what I'm saying. They ain't got no choice. It's not like most teams got one main wide receiver they throw to. Josh Allen getting that contract for no reason. You know, you know,
that's the market, man. You know how they do. Oh, you had a good year, Q.
I understand, but one good year.
I like Josh Allen.
One.
I think the trajectory is pointing up.
I don't know. He wasn't nothing without him. Now he got him, and he's scoring touchdowns, and they went to the playoffs. And he just gets this cut. The Browns is doing right.
Now that's the one. That's the guy I don't really believe in. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield.
Me neither.
Me
neither. That's why the Browns said, Baker, do it again. Do it again. We're not gonna pay you right now. They ain't even talking to the man. But if it was the Cowboys, it would be all over Sports Center and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, they made Dak do it. They made Dak do it twice.
Exactly. I digress, my guy.
My man.
You know what I mean?
Let them know where they can find you, $100,000. You do some work.
Everybody, you guys can find me. I do graphics. Find me, Graphics on HD on Instagram and Twitter. Hit me up. I do great work, man.
Does.
And thanks to follow Skywalker on that page as well. I didn't think you would have known it was me.
No, I found you, bro. I found you. Appreciate you, dog.
All right, man. Enjoy the show, man.
Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Man, y'all were great today, man. Y'all were great. We gonna go ahead and lock these things up though, cause y'all know me. I'll be here all dang on day. Conference is locked. We're gonna go ahead and outro this thing. I hop back into the chat because I ain't even showed y'all up here all dang on day because we've just been killing it today. Y'all been killing it. Mr. William Blackwell says, hey Sky, I saw something from Cooper and Lamb I've been dying to see. I saw Cooper teaching Lamb his releases. Yeah, we talked about that at the top of this show, where I gave my Hard Knocks review. I want to call it that. Hard Knocks was strange, but to me the best parts of Hard Knocks was the drone, Adrian, which was Aiden, Trevon Diggs' son, and then CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, that whole situation, because it was more football stuff. I thought that was awesome to see Cooper kind of teaching him his routes and just seeing it in a theatrical way, man. Cooper's, whew. Sleep on him if you want. I'm hearing, and he wasn't even ranked in the top 100, which I don't even, as you can see in the show, we ain't talking about that. But he's getting drafted so far down in fantasy, which is wild to me. He's Dak Prescott's favorite target, and he's one of the most reliable. So if you're in the PPR league, scoop up that value in a quicken. Matt Owen says, love seeing Professor O, love seeing Tank Kamara. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool to see Tank coaching up Kamara in the same mode that he was being coached up when he was a Buck coming into the league. I think you're going to see Kamara be kept on as practice squad guy. Mike Crum in the building says, hey, just FYI, my new profile dropped from Cowboys Wire on Connor Williams. So, guys, go check out the Connor Williams profile. Stevie Mack said top 100 lineup this year was mad dumb. Yeah. No Cowboys in the top 80. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, Cowboys fans, it's kind of biased. But you mean to tell me Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, Tyron Smith, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb are not top 100 players in this league? Like, what are we doing? So I don't talk about that stuff. Brian Bradford said Brady can't run. Yeah, I saw somebody in there say blitz the hell out of Brady. Yes and no. Because, see, the difference is Brady can't run, but Brady ain't never been able to run. He's never been able to run. He beats you up here. He knows when you're going to blitz. And that's why I think we talked about this, and we'll go back to some football talk. We talked about this last week. Notice how much Dan Quinn is blitzing, and notice how he's blitzing. Now, he won't keep this up. John Oning dropped an amazing stat. He's continuing to drop these blitz stats. The Cowboys are blitzing at a 46% clip, which would far and away be number one in the NFL. Last year, Baltimore blitzed, I think, like 42%. So watch how they're blitzing. And my favorite way that they are blitzing is when they're sugaring the A-gaps. I love this. We talked about it before with Jim Johnson. They used to do it with the Eagles. I hated it when they did it against the Cowboys, but as a football fan and as a defender, I loved watching it because it puts a ton of stress on not only your line, but your quarterback. Are they coming? Are they not coming? And when it's a guy like Keanu Neal and Micah Parsons doing it, they're so quick, fast, and explosive that either way they go, forward or back, will put stress on your defense. If they're coming, obviously, they can get there in a hurry, causing your line to shift. Or if they pull back, they can get back to their spots in a hurry, causing your quarterback to come off of that hot read. So I would love to see Dan be unique in his blitzes, and I think you will. You'll see some corner blitzes, which is crazy because Dan Quinn he's not a blitzer. Like, he wasn't a blitzer in his career, but I often come back around to this. Remember what he said. I'm trying to learn what I did in Seattle and what I did in Atlanta, the good things and the bad things, and bring them together for what worked and eliminate what did not work. So I think you'll see him blitz a little bit more this year. So I would definitely come after Brady. Just be strategic with it because Brady will beat you mentally, and he's got the receivers to do it. So you're going to come off. That middle's open. You get Antonio Brown on the hot route against Jordan Lewis. I'm just saying. Just be careful. I would love for our front four to get home. That's really how you do it. Like, if you can get Osa, if you can get Watkins and Urban and Mohana and Gregory and D-Law, if you can get those guys to get home and have the linebackers clog up the middle of the field and make them dink and dunk their way down, I think that's the best way to do it. But there's going to be times you got to blitz. What's going on, Dwayne? Laurel says, got to A-gap Brady. He don't like pressure in his face. Yep. Mike Crum said, check Brady's stats the last 2 years versus a blitz. It's actually very poor compared to when he isn't blitzed. Yeah, so Mr. Crum is saying come after him. I'm saying be careful and do it strategically, but don't be all willy-nilly with it. This is still Tom Brady, and this is still an offense that has weapons to take advantage of it, from the tight end position to the wide receiver position. So just be careful, but don't be scared. Where we at here? DCU said, Matt, the best part of the episode. This episode was interesting. This is interesting. It was fun. You know, I like these kind of episodes. I'll tell you this. During the season, we're Monday through Friday, we're going to have to crunch down this time. So we're going to figure it out. And I told y'all before, there's going to be different segments of the shows on certain days. Right now, we're still in off-season mode. We're still in preseason mode. On days like today or Thursday, Friday, we'll be talking about how to beat the following team or what we've seen from the following team. So we'll do film study things of that nature. It'll be fun. We'll keep you guys engaged and all that stuff. So we'll have the guests and all that continue to roll in. So keep it locked, man. Keep it locked. I appreciate you guys coming through. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get up out of here because if I don't press this button, we'll be here all day. Make sure y'all check out A to Z Sports.com. I know I have it down. I got to switch that. A to Z Sports.com. Cowboys section for all articles. I did put Mauricio's article in the description for Michael Gallup. We didn't get a chance to get to it. It's what it is. We'll be back on Friday talking final preseason bubble players, and maybe we'll get into the Gallup situation. We'll see. I appreciate you guys coming through, and make sure you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Peace. Love you.
I want me some glory hole.